Welcome to another episode of the Market Makers in Middle East and Africa podcast. I am your host, Abrar Hussain. Today, I speak to a special guest, Mazen Mroué, Group Chief Technology and Information Officer at MTN. He's also board member of various entities of MTN Group. Mazen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, Mazen, very impressive profile. And first, thank you very much for coming. I know you flew in today morning, so thank you for accommodating your busy schedule. And as I was saying, very impressive profile. You have worked in MTN for more than 25 years, board member of various entities. You have been CEO working in different countries of Africa. So tell us about your story.
Thank you. So I'm originally from country Lebanon. I'm an engineer by professional background. I have a master's degree in intellectual networks. Proud father with 3 daughters. My professional journey started in IT. And then quickly I switched in 1998 to Telecom. And I joined a group that was planning to expand in Africa. And our first market was Ghana in West Africa. So I had to go through the different domains within the telcos, within the IT space specifically, then within the enterprise. Then I moved to top, leadership roles, including CEO, COO, and now I'm the group chief technology and information officer for the whole MTN Group, operating in more than 18 countries. And we are also operating different platforms in addition to the core business within the fintech, within the enterprise, within the digital, and within the wholesale domains as well.
Perfect. I mean, thank you, Mazen. And as I was saying, that look, it's a very diverse experience with fintech, with telcos, and with various platforms launching in various countries of Africa. Tell us more about MTN Group and the reach. I know that it's more than 290 million custom subscribers, which is like amazing, operating in different countries. So tell us, what is the impact of MTN in this very important continent of Africa?
Yeah, I mean, it has been a very impressive story for MTN. One of the first, pioneers, has moved from home as a first operation was in South Africa and initiated multiple expansions across the continent and was the first to reach new countries, new markets, and the first really to launch, the GSM operations in multiple countries. And it was always perceived as a pioneer in bringing the latest technologies. And up to the stage where we've been known as everywhere you go. When you say MTN, everywhere you go. Because typically when we launched in a market, we didn't limit our services to the capital city. And we started making sure to expand to the other areas of each, country. So people were happy seeing MTN in the capital cities, in the urbans, and in the rurals, providing access to connectivity and to digital solutions. So the everywhere you go has evolved. And now we believe our main, goal is to really lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. And that's really how we have centered our, objectives at this stage with multiple initiatives. In addition to the connectivity business, providing opportunities around the platforms.
Perfect. And Mazen, as you have spent time in different countries of Africa, and for many people, it is still a very good opportunity to kind of start businesses or do businesses, but it has its own challenges and operational aspects. Tell us more about Africa. How do you see the current business landscape in general? What are the challenges and what are the opportunities? So the companies, international companies, local companies can know what is it to operate there.
Yeah. So look, I mean, we continue positioning MTN as a growth company. Our investment case is very, solid. We capitalize on the fact that we are operating in a very interesting markets. including the highest, let's say, or the largest economies in Africa, like South Africa and Nigeria, and definitely also leveraging the fact of the demographic. It's a youthful populations, and access to internet and access to connectivity. It's an essential. In addition to that, we have built a solid brand, and we continue to be perceived as the most admired brand in Africa. And as well, we have managed to build very solid distribution channels. So all those factors together really support the investment case that we have managed to really leverage in our growth story, which has helped as well to attract investors to continue trusting us and continue collaborating and partnering with us, that we can really take the business to the next level. And using MTN, it has been an example for other multinationals to really look at our story, to look at our progress and our growth. And definitely many other multinationals have followed the same. And I believe that has been a good really story for the economies where we operate and for the communities where we are really providing services. So, I mean, our story has been very, let's say, solid so far. Challenges are a lot. We shouldn't really forget the fact that we we are operating in a difficult markets. There is definitely some limitation on infrastructure level, and definitely we need to really make sure that in our investment we take care of the gaps that we find in infrastructure, including in the energy space, in the security space, in the transport space. So overall, those really can add probably difficulties to the overall profit margins. But we believe with the volume and with the growth and with the potential growth in the future, knowing the youthful population where we operate, I think all those are successful factors that can really help to continue to motivate us to expand our services across the continent.
Mm, perfect. And Mazen, you mentioned very interesting thing that it's a very good demographics, very youthful population, and the business case for growth is really amazing. And what I think MTN did is, apart from having connectivity services, you have launched some other services, for example, in fintech and the ayoba app. Tell us about ayoba, which is like you have 35 million active users per month. So share some story on that.
Yeah, let me go a bit earlier. I mean, when we started in the 90s, our expansion on providing GSM services at that stage was 2G, the basic, let's say, technology that we used to expand, and voice was the main service that we are providing. And people were eager to really go and subscribe for connectivity in terms of voice services, typically because in most of the markets where we have entered as a first player, bringing the 2G services at that stage, there was an absence of, let's say, fixed infrastructure. So the mobility was really seen as an opportunity for people to connect and communicate. And that's why we position ourselves as a communication for the nation. And typically, with the evolvement of technology and the introduction of 3G and 4G services, those have really enabled a group of additional advanced, let's say, supplementary services that have really made the subscribers' lifestyle much more interesting and make it easier and definitely efficiently, definitely benefiting and leveraging from the new technologies. As an example, I mean, with the introduction of 3G and definitely the 4G, has enabled the e-commerce, and that's why we've started seeing a lot of really interesting applications, the Uber of the space and in the fintech space. Uh, One of the reasons that we've seen the people are really willing to use those services, specifically the mobile money services, is the lack of really the banking penetrations. And banks found it very difficult to expand beyond than just really the downtown and the capital cities. So we found that MTN based on the connectivity infrastructure that was built, we were able to expand and provide mobile financial services to the rest of the populations. And that's how we became a major player in our markets in really pioneering and growing the mobile money services, to the extent that people started really moving from the basic services to the advanced services, including loans, remittances, and other also insurance services. So all those together has really built our digital portfolio, aiming to continue making sure that people are digitally inclusive and financially as well.
Ah, very good. I think when you mentioned that there is a lot of unbanked population in Africa and you operate in more than 18 countries, so it really provides a lot of impact where you kind of leverage your connectivity customers and provide them mobile money. Do you have, can you share some numbers like how is the impact in terms of remittances or in terms of the active users that you have on your mobile money or on the fintech side?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the focus was at the beginning to build the subscriber base. And we were shocked at the beginning. I mean, our business plans probably were really looking at thousands of subscribers at the beginning. And when we switch anywhere, we will switch our networks in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, from 1 month, 2 months, we've seen the capacity was filled, and we had to expand, let's say, significantly to accommodate the demand that was already, let's say, subscribed to. So, and definitely the connectivity continued to be the main, let's say, foundation to provide the additional services or the new services or the new digital solutions. And on the fintech space, we started around 2008 to really promote the wallet space, promote the mobile financial services, capitalize on the fact that now GSM is providing connectivity. And at that stage, data services were very limited and the speed and the throughput were very limited. So people have to use very traditional channels to subscribe to the services, including the SMS and the USSD. And that journey was really very successful. We had to invest a lot, and we had to really make sure that there is a synergy between, let's say, promoting mobile financial service and leveraging the distribution channel that has been already used and built for the traditional services like for voice and data. And that synergy has helped us to reach more customers and also accelerate the adoptions. And at this stage, we happy to say that we are leading the space in Africa with more than 65 million mobile financially services monthly active users
Wow.
in our markets.
I mean, that's very, very huge. Now, Mazen, the question is when you launch these platforms, right, be it on the mobile money side or be it another app, given that the two important markets are Nigeria or two largest market and South Africa, and then you have a lot of other, let's say, mid-sized countries or smaller countries. How do you scale? I mean, is it you launch one platform which can cater to all the population and it's very diverse as well, or you start from one country and then scale? So, if you can share on that.
Yeah, operationally, we don't differentiate between the markets where we operate. Each market has its own unique, let's say, characteristics and let's say advantages. So we have really a strategy that we make sure that the same type of technology is being rolled out across all the markets, whether it's really large or medium or low markets. So that's really factor number one. The second thing that one of the mandate that we have received from our group board that we need to make sure that we continue investing in infrastructure, in our telecom infrastructure, to ensure that the capacity it is already made available, that also differentiate ourselves on the level of customer experience. So all those really factors has helped to make sure that MTN is leading the way when it comes to really net promoting scores, when it comes to coverage areas, when it comes to access to the latest technology and features, which has also make sure that we also have an advantage on really leading the way of providing new services in addition to the connectivity, go beyond the connectivity and start carving out some of our business domains, including the fintech and the digital and the wholesale and the enterprise. All those together are bundled in a way that MTN have a big advantage because one, we operate in a very youthful, let's say, environments. Second, currently we are around 290 million customers who are really primarily uh, uh, connected subscribers. Half of them, they are active data subscribers, and half of the half as well, they are mobile financial services. So just looking at the 290 million subscribers, you will see what is the potential of really pushing the remaining half to be active data subscribers, and definitely the balance to be also leveraging the mobile financial services and the digital solutions.
Mhm. And Mazen, when you mentioned that telcos, if you see overall, because of their reach to the customers and at the same time to the businesses, right? Both of them are kind of using the connectivity, data, voice. It's a very good business case where the telcos can enter into a lot of different businesses, be it on the IT side or technology side, or be it on the fintech or even banks, right? Becoming banks. How do you see telcos should take the right bets, and how do you, as being a board member of various entities and a CTIO, how do you choose right bets, saying that look, from these 10 things, these are the one or two things which we will pick?
Correct. As I said at the beginning, we continue positioning MTN as a growth company. So the growth is a number one factor
Hmm.
that we use into really our investment plans. So as much as we continue investing within the connectivity, providing capacity on the data for the consumers, on the platforms, we also making good, let's say, progress. I think the area that we also trying to as well expand, it's on the infrastructure side. And within the infrastructure, we see that the telcos have a major role to play within the space of data centers, within the space of fiber connectivity, fiber to the home, and within the space up to the extent that they can also play a role in the energy and the power solution as well. All those really opportunities, we believe they are really play a role that can really help the telcos to succeed and maintain and retain their own growth stories.
Absolutely. Imagine, as you were mentioning before, that it's a tough market, right? And at the same time, it's a tough environment where the cost of doing business becomes high. As you said, you have to consider or factor power, transportation, security. So, in that scenario, how do you leverage technology when you have to make decisions on technology investments? Is it the customer experience, personalized services, at the same time, cost? How do you kind of leverage technology and the emerging technologies for MTN?
Yeah, I mean it has been very interesting, and it is not really it's not really a coincidence that the uptake has been very impressive, especially in Africa on the connectivity and people looking for the mobility. We did a lot of let's say innovations in the 90s. The concept of prepaid was, for your information, was innovated in Africa
Mm-hmm.
by MTN with some of our strategic partners. Uh, Before that, people were only the wealthy people. Probably they were lucky to subscribe to GSM services based on postpaid, pay monthly services. So the introduction of prepaid became as a need because of the market demand, specifically in Africa, and became as a global, let's say, solution worldwide for prepaid. And that's really has helped the global penetration to subscribe for the mobile has really dramatically
Mm-hmm.
moved on. So we need to look at the customer needs and we need to understand the local context as well. So although we operate in Africa, but Africa, there are different countries, different cultures, different needs, and different level of maturity and developments. So we need to understand the local context, the local needs, and provide solutions. At one point of time, there was a pressure because there was a huge, let's say, demand on our services, and there has been a delay because of the capacity that we need to build. So we had to really also adapt ourselves and start introducing something we call like dynamic tariffing. Okay, so your tariff is not fixed. Your tariff is determined by the utilization rate of the base stations that you are taking signal from. So the less is utilized, as an example, the cheaper the call is.
Wow.
So those kind of services really has helped us to really penetrate our capacity, penetrate our services, and advanced our really understanding for making sure people are enjoying our services by listening to their needs and drive the customer experience journey to the next level.
Hmm. And Mazen, how do you see the new technologies like AI, and data? I mean, I'll say mainly on the AI and how you're leveraging those.
Look, now AI is being integrated as part of every single speech and article and post, right?
Yes.
So, in my view, we need to really step back and apply our mind carefully. What do we need from AI? Okay. AI is a technology. And what do we need to achieve with AI? Let's ask ourselves those very simple questions. What are really our constraints? What are our challenges? Is it more about reducing cost? Is it more about increasing productivity? Is it about efficiency? Is it about incremental financial benefits? Or probably maybe it's about improved customer experience. So once we really settled about the objective that we need to really achieve to use this technology, then definitely as a business owners or as head of functions within the business, we can start really articulating the specific use cases. And then the use cases can determine the way how we need to really drive the deployment, whether it's really the generative AI or let's say the descriptive AI or the diagnostic AI. There are multiple domains. So we believe once you determine the goal that you want to achieve or what do you want to really use AI for, AI become as enabler to achieve multiple objectives. And definitely by moving on, shortlisting, looking at the few use cases, and then you can scale it, and then you can really expand it. That's how AI can play much more, let's say, quantified role in impacting our lifestyle or our, let's say, professional work or our business
Business, yeah.
objectives.
Mm-hmm. And Mazen, with your unparalleled MTN's unparalleled reach even to the businesses, right, in Africa, and both small and big businesses, how is MTN helping drive digital transformation of the businesses?
So, as I said, our story started beginning concentrating on consumers, enabling everyone to really have the benefit to access connectivity. So the focus has shifted later or has expanded later to also focus on as well, in addition to the consumers, on the enterprise sector. And within the enterprise, there are small, medium, and large. Uh, and later we found that also there is a role of also expanding our infrastructure to have a wholesale, let's say, a capacity build that can enable businesses to connect, to communicate, and that can drive digital transformations. So we have embarked on several initiatives that can accelerate the digital transformations in the continents, including our investment in the submarine cables to connect the continent with the rest of the world, making sure that there is enough capacity and there is enough redundancy. And as well within each one of those countries where we operate, In addition to the mobility, also we invested heavily in fixed fiber infrastructure that has helped to really make sure the businesses are well established with regards to their demands to drive the digital solutions for the Africa progress. So we play multiple roles on the consumer sides, on the enterprise sides, and on the wholesale sides, enabling, as an example, the platform that we have, ayoba, as a wholesale ecosystem player, uh, providing connectivity not only to the mobile network operators, but as well to the governments and to the other IT providers. And that's how we have positioned MTN to really be a platform not only to serve our own, let's say, businesses, but as well to be a vehicle being used by others to expand their service across the continent.
Hmm. And Mazen, as we were saying that, look, I really like when you said that we are driving the digital transformation of the continent, which is kind of really big, and the kind of projects you mentioned are really massive in a scale which touches the whole continent. My question is the mobile technology, and then coming off the apps, now fintechs, how this has helped the communities and the continent as a whole in terms of economic development. So having technology and then having banking ability, having ability to transfer money, to get loans, to get credits, I think creates a huge impact. So how is it helping drive the economic growth in different countries or in the continent?
Yeah, so basically, as much as we have built solid infrastructure, and definitely we have reached an acceptable uh, level of coverage uh, for the different technology that we are providing. The question has been, so what can be really expanded on the top of the technology that has been provided? What can be provided more? So the new services that has been introduced, leveraging as well the progress and the story of new devices that has enabled apps to really drive the consumptions on our networks. So the digitization starts from the fact that people have started moving from traditional voice to use the devices to complete a group of different, let's say, services that enable them to stay up to date with regard to their own personal and business needs using the devices. So that's how the people in our, let's say, networks, in our environments have leveraged the mobile financial services, access to their own wallets using the device, have the transfers being done simultaneously and instantly from their devices. That has helped to impact definitely the overall economy cycle, has a bigger impact on the GDP, and that has also has helped to accelerate the business decisions within the communities. Imagine if someone has to go and transfer an amount of money, has to really couple of hours to transport, and then couple of days to wait for the transfer to happen, and now it's been happening instantly.
And yeah,
So imagine what level of agility and business
so
decision
true.
being moved on using the technology that has been enabled. And again, everything is based on the connectivity. The
Mm.
second level is on the business solutions that was provided, including the mobile manufacturer services that has enabled the establishment of wallets. On the top wallet, new advanced services like remittances, like loans, like insurance, and many other things. And that also has helped as well to keep the African well connected with their own relatives who are outside of the continents,
Mhm.
to communicate, to connect, and also to receive remittances from
Amazing.
abroad that also impacted their own, let's say, day to day life.
Mhm. Wow, I mean that's really impressive, Mazen. Mazen, my another question: do you still see, or what opportunities do you see, which can have still significant impact, or where you see that there is still a gap on the fintech side, on the tech side, where you see, look, I think there is a still room for a lot of entrepreneurs, for a lot of other players to grow in Africa.
Yeah, the opportunities are huge, I can tell you. First of all, the population continued to grow. Okay, so it means there is organic growth that we are aiming to continue playing a role to connect. There is opportunity to as well to connect or to convert the wide subscriber base to be active data subscriptions. There is an opportunity to connect and convert the data subscribers to also have their own mobile financial wallets. And there is also an opportunity for those who already have the wallets to use the advanced mobile financial services. On the top of that, there is opportunity as well to continue building the super app opportunity that can combine the fintech services, the digital services, the entertainment services, the educational services. And there is also opportunity as well that the technology continue to evolve. And now with the introduction of 5G, I think several, let's say, benefits are being put on the tables. So there is a throughput benefits, there is a latency as well factor being also put on the table as part of the 5G technology, and definitely also the efficiency of using the technology resources with the 5G. So we believe with 5G as well, whether it's a standalone or non-standalone architecture, there is a huge number of opportunity that can digitize and help to digitize our, let's say, services, our environments and our communities, and as well play a role to support the governments to continue driving the national transformations of their own digital solutions and digital needs. Within 5G, there are serious opportunities that currently we are driving as MTN uh, in different domains, in different sectors, including the mining sectors, including the transport sector, the education sector, and the medical sectors, leveraging the IoTs, the Internet of Things devices, bundling with the 5G. I believe those can really help to drive and deliver serious, let's say, solutions to our market needs.
Mm-hmm. Mazen, you had a very, successful career, and what leadership attributes, do you follow, which has helped you grow, manage different teams, different cultures, in your roles of being a CEO of various entities, COO of various entities, and now Group Chief Technology and Information Officer. So share some thoughts on the leadership, the way you drive teams.
Look, I mean, everyone has his own, let's say, way of delivering and leading and progressing. I mean, one of the factors that I always really push for is engagement. I can't really consider that people can succeed alone. There is also teamwork, and there is always a need to make sure that you take the team along with you. So the engagement is really important. Uh, the second one is lead by example. You cannot really move on and put some rules and put some ambitions and some factors and do not really make sure that you are an example to lead. The third area is more about we cannot really be operating in an isolation of the technology that we have. So we have to embed the technology as part of our, let's say, day-to-day life that can impact positively our deliverables. And the other factor as well, it's I always say that in order to be successful at work, you need to be also successful at home. Okay, so you cannot be successful and you cannot really be showing good results at work if you don't have a peace of mind at work, at home. And you cannot always, and as well, the vice versa as well. You cannot just show respect to your employees without really respecting your family. Okay, you cannot also have good listening skills for your employees without listening to your family members. So there is a strong correlations between how we behave at home and how we really do our work at the office.
Thank you. That's very, very interesting, Mazen. My wife will be happy to listen this. Mazen, the one question: you are a board member of an entity of MTN, and how the board role different than the the executive role, and how the board role specific in terms of operating in Africa is different than maybe another country. If you can share a bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, the board usually does not interfere in the operations. Okay, the operations are led by the CEOs and the bio management team. The board probably put some guidance on the strategy overall, but the strategy is being developed by the management team. The board has more, let's say, focus on areas like the risk, areas like of governance, areas of compliance. So we believe with having a strong and diverse number of people sitting on the board with the proper gender balance, I believe that can really always used as a strong support to the management team to deliver and implement and drive their own investments and definitely articulate the benefits of those investments in terms of financial benefits. So from that perspective, the board has a strong role in guiding and in also ensuring the right governance in place that can really help to reduce the risk profile and mitigate any risk arising from the geopolitics or from security or any other aspects of the area that we are operating from.
Perfect. My last question, Mazen, and thank you again for coming. What keeps you motivated for a very demanding job? Traveling, I think maybe almost every week, and then demand of the job, managing family. So, what keeps you motivating, and what next for you?
Yeah, I see when I see results, I mean, whether on hourly, daily, weekly, when I see on daily basis our technology is enabling people to connect, to communicate, to stay in touch, to have access to wallets, to message, to benefit from the new technologies to impact their own life. I see it on daily basis. I see on hourly basis. I see on so that's really big motivation for me that and for my team who are really seeing the results immediately. It's not like you are planting something now and you wait 1 year to see the result or 5 years to see the results. In our domain is on the spot immediately. Once we launch a service, we see the adoptions. We take decision whether we expand, we retain, we support, or probably change. So the decision is fast. In the banking sector, in the traditional banking sectors, they probably they think about one or two products per year. In the telecom sector, in the techo sector now, products are being rolled out on daily basis because we have a wide range. Millions of people are waiting for us and waiting for solutions. So that's really one thing that continue to motivate me. And the second thing is because I work in different environments and different markets and different cultures. So you always look back and you see what legacy that you have left. And when you see people calling you from time to time, or when you meet them after years you left that country and they appreciate you, then you really reflect and you always think that that you should really continue leaving legacy, which is very important to transform the knowledge and the skills that we have acquired during our professional experience and make sure other people are also having access to those skills and knowledge. So the legacy, living legacy is another factor that motivates me personally.
Thank you very much, Mazen. It's really a pleasure to have you. And again, thank you very much for your time. I know you were traveling, you came just today itself, and you made time for this. So thank you again, Mazen. And really pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure as well.